Welcome, welcome, welcome. It has been quite some time. I can't even remember the last time I actually went live, but hopefully these notifications are sent out in a timely fashion to the ones that really rock with Too Cool Too Con. You are listening to Reek, proprietor of Too Cool Too Con, and I'm actually doing a call-in show. So, with that being said, hopefully, when you see that notification pop, you be like, oh, let me switch up what I was doing in my usual routine and, check in on Reek and what he got's popping and what's really going on with, people in various areas. Because that's what I like to entertain, various areas to see, what's popping around your way. It's always something new. It's always something that can be gained from a conversation, dialogue, brief talks. Not everybody got the time, all the time in the world, but you do have a little bit to, share and spread, viable information that is useful to the masses. Like I said, I've been MIA, but I just been enjoying this weather. Minnesota usually doesn't have long summers, so we've been getting blessed with some phenomenal weather, some weather where I can still drop the top and soak up all that vitamin D that we also need. And if you desire, if you're in on the workplace or driving in traffic or whatever you may be doing, if you ain't arching that hump in your back, with your lady friend, the hotline is posted. It's the top pinned post, for the time being. Once it goes to pre-recorded status, that will disappear. But while it's actually live, it is posted. You can actually call it. You could actually weigh in and say whatever you need to say. That is, something that is, you know, information that people can, actually build off of. Other people say other, words and limericks of, what that particular meaning is, but I craft it as such. And like I always say, if it doesn't get to popping after, the set amount of time I always usually say, then I will say sayonara. I act like I'm Japanese and, I'll take a few bows and, I'll be out. But while we have this time together, hopefully, we get some comments within the particular chat. And I'll say this, I was asked on my Patreon because I've been kind of MIA over there, but I will start posting content over on the Patreon, and I'll say it like this: I'll post the content on the Patreon, but I may not make it available to this platform since so many different things happening now with this platform. They're kicking people off for speaking their mind on particular topics. So I'll keep it over on Patreon, and if you want to see exclusive content that's only available on Patreon, it's Too Cool to Con over there. You see the name. The name of this channel is the same over on Patreon. You can become a Patreon supporter. I won't say subscriber because it's support, because I charge for being able to view content that is either going up pre before it hits YouTube, or that is only exclusive to Patreon. So if you want content that is up live, that is not all of them. There's some things that's available here, but a lot of content that is exclusive is over on Patreon, Too Cool to Con Patreon. So if you want to get that content, become a Patreon supporter. You'll be able to view it. It's a low sum to become a supporter. I am not charging exorbitant rates or anything like that. That's not in me to do anything like that, but it is content that you will not find here that maybe goes into certain topics that used to be favorable on this particular platform. But now think about it like this. If you really sit back and look, all the real channels, all the genuine, authentic channels that used to be on here, they're null and void now. Even my channel, I mean, it's still here, but the way that they run their algorithms now is not getting proper placement. And the ones that you do find here, they're definitely, part of the alphabet crew. Because if they let you do numbers, either one or two. Either you're selling stuff for corporations, your corporation, you're corporate friendly, or you're controlled opposition. In controlled opposition, they'll let you talk about all kind of things that's gonna, keep sending people down the prison pipeline. So if you see them doing numbers and not getting messed with, they're part of that. They're essentially a deputy to the alphabet agencies. Everybody else, they're getting so-called low views and things like that. No, it's done by design. It's all by design. Okay, from me to you, digital. What's good, Nashville? Checking in. What's going on? I'm glad Tennessee is checking in. What's going on with you, Low? I'm glad that you done stepped into the chat. Hopefully everybody's been swell, and giving the opposition hell. Like I said, I'm just doing. I figure, you're like, Rick, you ain't been on in a while. I figure, why not come on and see how it is. It's been a while. Like I said, I've been trying. I've been sitting on people's Twitter Spaces, and Twitter Spaces seem like it's kind of cool, but I don't know how I will go about. I probably would have to get everybody's, or people send me their Twitter handles, and then I could create some that way. But the Twitter Spaces to me reminds me of how dialogues used to be on YouTube, and you get a lot of good conversations. To me, it's like it's similar to Clubhouse, where you have speakers and you're talking about particular topics, and then people ask to weigh in on whatever's being said during the conversation. That reminds me of what it used to be when I first started doing call-ins on this platform. But now it's like they don't want any type of information to be disseminated. So they'll make it say, oh, well, it doesn't matter how many subscribers you have. We don't like what you're professing to the people. So we're gonna basically throw algorithm monkey wrenches in it and send bots in here to try to make your ratings go down prematurely. It ain't because what I'm saying is any lesser or worser. It's because the powers that shouldn't be are doing things that is uncopacetic for actual growth. I would say I'm not corporate friendly because I don't promote selling anything or anything like that. I'm not a person that will bite my tongue if I feel a product is whatever that product may be. If I feel it's inferior, I'm about to expose that particular company about their practices, so they'll probably lose revenue. And they know melanated dollars go quite far. So that's a hindrance right there. And then the other one, controlled opposition, I don't play off of any scripts, any lists, or anything like that. I don't work for anybody that will help put my brothers and sisters in a situation that's unfavorable. So like I said, when you see the certain channels flourishing and talking that same thing that will keep people being stuck on ideology of stupidity, I'm not for it. But they're for it, and they'll do numbers. They're untouched, because they're having you look. This particular rapper done did this or that or whatever. No, they're all ran by corporations. They're puppets. They can't really speak out and start saying certain things because their handlers, their controllers will start letting the letting their views go down, or their reach not be able to be reached like usual. So you just got to peep the play. Anybody that got common sense, you can see this. I mean, they could censor all they want, but the real knows the deal. And I guess you can think in some ways it's kind of good that if people don't want to wise up and rise up, then it's some people that's just not going to make it. So the ones that have the information, they're going to flourish. The ones that don't, they're going to be stuck in purgatory. So you only could tell somebody so much, but if they don't take heed, then that's on them. They can't cry and say they didn't have the information. You said back like we never left. Most definitely. Like I said, this is a trial. I'm solo dolo. I don't got nobody ride with me right now. I don't got no old school, no famo, no Rated Shot, no infamous Lisa Smith. All the various characters and people that you usually find on Tukudukan. But depending on how it goes of me sparking this dialogue back up, hopefully, we can build it back up and, do it all over again. Plus, when it comes to the fall seasons, I do this a little bit more than when it comes to spring and summer. I kind of really, don't have the drive to do it when it's then because, I'm trying to, get out there and see the sun, get that vitamin D up in me. Hopefully you're getting the vitamin D up in you. I come from the old school where you actually get out and move around versus, we be on these devices because you could be out in the wild being on a device, but, I'd rather dedicate my time to actual tangible life, just as we all do, especially in these times we find ourselves in where, they're trying to hinder you from doing this and stop you from doing that. We find a way out of no way. But with that being said, we're creeping closer to the time. I'm glad that Lo, you done stopped in and I'll just say digital. Digital from Nashville done stopped in, and whoever else is, out there lurking. Hey, and if you got time, hit the like button. I appreciate the ones that actually took the time to hit the like button. Hit the like button. I wouldn't even say that it gives better placement. It just lets me know that you're actually listening. Hopefully, if you read my affirmations in my community page settings, I posted the link to this particular live stream. Hopefully you can actually see it there, because a lot of times, like if I post or repost, shall I say, content that I will like you to check out, I don't really see nobody liking it, but maybe it's because they're not placing it in your feed where you can actually see it. So you may have to go all the way to my page through the desktop and scroll through the different affirmations I post daily. If one thing, I always post affirmations daily. Always. That has never stopped. But as far as videos, yeah, I haven't did any videos. I haven't did any lives. But with it with someone pulling my coat like, Rick, you need to do something. I mean, it's a lot of different dialogue that we can be covering, because there's a lot of different things that we're facing and we're going through in this day and age leading up to the 2022, 2020 deucer. But, 5 seconds away from that 15-minute marker, I know people come in a little bit later because they know they're like, he really, if he's solo, he really runs out of steam by that time. So we'll usually send the notifications later, and that's what I noticed too. When they don't like your particular channel, your message, or whatever you're professing, they'll send the notifications for, oh, this person got some new video like 24 hours later. I find that a lot, but you know the channels that don't cater to alphabet agencies and bow down to corporations, receive that type of treatment. If you do that, then yeah, you're getting all the notifications and things like that because they don't find you as a threat to their bottom line, shall I say. But I always will be something of a side in a needle in the side of their side that they can't quite reach. I want to continue to be that because everything ain't hunky dory. But with that being said, we're 16 minutes in. I appreciate the comments that done came in, and if you are finding this in the replay, go ahead, throw a comment. Hopefully I can get it. I noticed something too. I went to my YT studios and I had comments from like 6 and 5 months that I've never seen, but they just recently popped up. So that, goes to show you they want to throw off the reach like, oh, well, look, Rick ain't even responding to, comments and things like that. No, they're just now sending it to me. This is how they do, melanated brothers as myself that don't follow scripts and bow down and, operate out of different countries, and steadily get paid, for, throwing young brothers and sisters under the bus with that nonsense. Well, with that being said, I'm up out. Hopefully everybody's night, morning, day, whatever you may find yourself listening to at whatever particular time, you're doing fine. And I'm out.